Symbiotes. Symbiotes are an interesting case in the sense of them not really being characters or a group of characters per se. They are more of an entity that makes characters. They take control of people, hosts, and that is how the character is quote-unquote created. So today, I want to take a look at some of the symbiotes in the Marvel Universe and their origins. Now, disclaimer, I won't be mentioning every single host of every single symbiote, since there are countless hosts for the Venom symbiote and then another for the Carnage symbiote. I'll be taking a look at the symbiotes themselves and some of their more popular hosts. Now, before talking about the hosts and their various attributes, we need to talk about the origins of the symbiotes themselves. The Clintar, better known as the symbiotes, is a species of inorganic extraterrestrials from the Andromeda Galaxy. If you don't know what the Andromeda Galaxy is, it is a galaxy where empires like the Skrulls reside. Their aim was to bond with worthy hosts to make noble warriors that defend the cosmos. Problem was, for the bonding to happen, it needed the host to have a perfect set of morals and ideologies. If not, the bonding will completely corrupt the host and the symbiote. At one point or another, these corrupt symbiotes established an empire called the Symbiote Imperium. As a result, the species as a whole developed a bad reputation for being amoral species who are hell-bent on taking over other galaxies. These corrupt symbiotes feed off the adrenaline of its host. They would force their hosts to do crazy stunts that get them near-death situations to feed off the resulting rush of adrenaline. The host would eventually die of exhaustion or because of the stunt, and the symbiote would move on to a new one, rinse and repeat. While corrupted, the symbiote can't access their fullest potential, although species will usually become stronger over time, and each new offspring will become stronger than the rest. Symbiotes usually release offsprings asexually that become infinitely more powerful than the parent symbiote. Now we are going to start with Venom, and Venom has two famous hosts. We are going to start with Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. The Venom symbiote was considered crazy since it had the same goals as the peaceful symbiote, but that did not fly with the others. They trapped it in a canister getting ready to execute it on a certain planet, but that planet became part of Beyonder's Battleworld and the Secret Wars storyline. In that story, Spider-Man's suit was damaged and he was trying a new machine made by Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, that allows the user to make new pieces of clothing any person can imagine. The symbiote bonded with him, but it was trying to permanently bond with him. It used to force Spider-Man to fight crime at night, making him tired in the morning. When Spider-Man realized it was sentient and was trying to bond with him, he rejected it. The Fantastic Four contained it, but it of course escaped. Edward Charles Allen Brock, or Eddie Brock, was raised as a Roman Catholic in San Francisco. He was treated badly by his father because he thought Eddie was the reason his wife died when she gave birth to him. Eddie often stole people's belongings so he can find them. He eventually became a reporter and married a woman by the name of Anne Wang. He later realized he had adrenal cancer. With only a few months to live, Eddie wanted to make a big story. A mysterious man called, claiming to be the criminal, the Sin Eater, going by the name of Emil Gregg. He reported it, but that same day, Spider-Man uncovered the true identity of the Sin Eater to be Detective Stan Carter, and Eddie Brock was fired, blaming Spider-Man for his misery. Eddie Brock was thinking of suicide. He decided to visit Our Lady of Saints Church to apologize to God for the sin he is going to commit, suicide. The symbiote attacked and bonded with him. They both harbored a hate, the symbiote for Peter Parker and Eddie for Spidey. With that, Eddie realized Spider-Man was Peter Parker along with a host of other information. They would eventually have more fights until Eddie finally becomes an anti-hero who defends the streets of San Francisco as the Lethal Protector. His powers are superhuman strength, durability, stamina, speed, agility, reflexes, regenerative healing factor, weapon generation, wall crawling, offspring detection, genetic memory, spider sense immunity, constituent matter generation, invisibility, shapeshifting, night vision, Spider-Man detection, venomous fangs, and telepathy resistance. Carnage's most prominent and famous host is Cletus Cassidy. Cassidy has a very messed up childhood. He was beat by his father, killed his grandmother by pushing her down a flight of stairs, torturing his mother's dog, and having his mother killed by his father who received no support from Cletus in court. Cletus was eventually sent to an orphanage and was bullied because of his antisocial behavior by kids and staff members. He took revenge by killing the whole discipline administration, pushing a girl in front of a bus who refused to go on a date with him, and burnt down the whole orphanage. Cletus grew up to be a psychotic killer who bragged to his cellmate Eddie Brock at Rikers Island about how he killed 11 innocent people. Eddie Brock eventually escaped with the Venom symbiote, but without Eddie knowing, the symbiote was pregnant and asexually released an offspring that bonded with Cletus, and Carnage was born. Carnage escaped and went on a massive murder spree, killing hundreds of people. Spider-Man was forced to team up with Venom and the Fantastic Four to defeat him. Carnage would again appear in the storyline of Maximum Carnage and team up with a host of other criminals like Doppelganger, Demogoblin, Shriek, and Carrion. They were eventually defeated by Spider-Man, Venom, Fantastic Four, and other heroes and anti-heroes like Captain America. His abilities are similar to Venom but with a few extra tricks, like converting his symbiote to a cellular level and changing negative energy to biomass. It has been some time since Cletus Cassidy was Carnage, and he obviously escaped prison a while ago because being in prison is boring. Anyways, the Carnage symbiote became pregnant. Venom heard about it and wanted to befriend the offspring so he can be able to kill Carnage. Venom wanted to seek out Carnage, but Carnage had other plans. Carnage was going to kill the new symbiote, Toxin. After giving birth to the symbiote, Carnage was too weak to kill it, so he temporarily put the symbiote on a police officer named Patrick Mulligan, so Carnage can return later and kill them both. Fatherly love. Or motherly love. Patrick Mulligan, before getting the symbiote, was one of New York's finest cops. He was married to a woman named Gina and was having a son named Edward. When Mulligan got the symbiote, it matured enough to have a consciousness of its own and a full suit for Mulligan to wear. Carnage attacked his wife and son, but they were safe. It was then that Mulligan realized that staying with his family can put them in danger. And after Venom realizing that Toxin was on a path of righteousness, he made a deal with Carnage to kill Toxin. In their final battle, Spider-Man stumbled upon them and helped Toxin win against Carnage and Venom. A villain by the name of Razorfist killed Mulligan's father. When Mulligan confronted him, he and the symbiote showed their heroic act by not killing Razorfist, but handing him over to the cops. Mulligan later returned to his family, explaining why he left, and made a deal with Toxin, which would make Mulligan in complete control but allow Toxin to have 2 hours of playtime at night. In that time, he was not allowed to kill anyone or torture anyone. Don't they grow up fast? Sometime later, Eddie's cancer has resurfaced and the Venom symbiote didn't want him anymore. Eddie decided to sell the symbiote to an auction in the black market. The symbiote was bought by a crime lord. Shocking, huh? The crime lord gave it to his son called Angelo. While Angelo was jumping from a building, the symbiote left it, leaving it to plummet to its death. The symbiote was then passed on to another host, Mac Gargan, aka the Scorpion. After various attempts of suicide and at one point being saved by Peter Parker, Brock was accepted to Aunt May and Martin Lee's foundation, Feast, where he worked at a kitchen serving food for the poor. Eddie was cured of his cancer and the remnants of his symbiote by Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative's power. Venom attacked the kitchen looking for Spider-Man, and the symbiote tried to leave Scorpion and bond with Eddie. The powers of Martin Lee somehow reacted with the remnants of the symbiote from before, and the remnants connected to his white blood cells, and when the symbiote was trying to bond with Eddie, Anti-Venom was born. Anti-Venom did some outstanding feats, but the greatest was curing the citizens of New York from Spider-Man powers and sacrificing his symbiote to save New York City in the storyline of Spider Island. Eddie Brock lost his powers, but he would bond with Toxin, and he eventually returned and bonded with the Venom symbiote. He has the same powers as the previous symbiote, but with the special ability of curing people of impurities. Thank you so much for watching, you beautiful human being. I will see you peeps and gals in the next one. Bye bye.